Yeah, it's probably like finding scat, right? What's this say here? What did I just see? There's this timeline in the back of the book. I didn't see it before. I was looking for one thing, but I haven't gotten there yet. 1921 April through 1922 August. Bought $400 million of government securities. 400 million has been very important in the last few years, hasn't it? But commodity and agricultural values and business activity. What does this say? What does this say? It's up here a little bit. January 1st, 1921, the German military is reestablished. Then we get a little further down, right? There's all kinds of stuff that happens in between. I'm not really going to focus on that right now, except these reductions, like this one right here, right after the Geneva Convention. Is there a correlation between the Geneva Convention and the 1929 stock market crash? I mean, that's spacious, right? Right. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Where are we at now? February 1933. March  21st, 1933. Adolf Hitler greets Paul von Hindenburg. What does this say? 1933, March. 1933. Bought large amounts of bankers' acceptances at increased rates. Raised from 2.5 to 3.5% at New York and Chicago. Run on gold and on bank deposits preceding bank holiday, depleting the reserves, break of Federal Reserve banks. But then we go down a little bit. February 28th, 1934, the Aryan Paragraph. Well, prior to that, in April of 1933, was the law on the restoration of the professional civil service. What was going on in April of 1933? Bought $595 million of government securities. Reduced from 3.5% to 2% at New York. Action taken to ease the position of banks and promote recovery after bank holiday. But what's this? February 28th, 1934. What was going on? 1934, February. Reduced from range of 2 to 3.5% to 1.5% to 2% at all banks to promote business recovery and correspond with the general decline in money rates resulting from beginning of heavy gold inflow. Why was there a heavy gold inflow around the time that the civil service began forcibly retiring Jews in Germany? You don't think there's any correlation, do you? Wow. Do you know what a difference today makes when people representing themselves as having nice, syrupy, sweet Southern accents at the Department of Vital Records just mysteriously lose the payment for my birth certificate? 1937 August to 1938 April. Bought $38 million of government securities, and it specifically says and is selected out. November 1937. Treasury released $300 million of sterilized gold at Federal Open Market Committee request, and then reduced from 2 to 1.5% at 10 banks, from 1.5% to 1% at New York. August through September 1937. Reduced by 1/4 of legal minimum requirements, 1938, to ease credit situation and security markets in view of decline in business activity and commodity and security prices. Following business inventory accumulation. Business inventory accumulation. Does this have anything to do with meeting with the foreign minister, the war minister, and the heads of the Army, Navy, and Air Force? Germany's foreign policy, absorbing Austria and Czechoslovakia. Wow, you don't think that has anything to do with anything, including following what was identified as a secret law implemented to change the name of the Reich. In addition, the conscription law excluded Jews. You know, I'm just saying that when you tell me you want me to pay for things, but I'm not allowed to have any role in the leadership, I'm really hoping that you're not like tearing ex post facto to some sort of gold conversion that you're expecting to be availed the benefits in regards to, right? Let's keep going. Oh my. Oh, what was going on then, huh? Well, that would have been around the time, right? Charges of homosexuality. Oh, Commander in Chief of the Army von Fritsch resigned after Himmler and Reichsmarschall Erwin Goering trumped up false charges of homosexuality about him. Not so ironically, what's happening around that time? Well, that's just around the time they're ending the release of sterilized gold at the Federal Open Markets Committee. It's the timeline right here. So, the commander in chief of the army has to resign right around the time they're ending the run on sterilized gold at the Federal Reserve. Whoa. Well, I guess it's not so sterile anymore, huh? Wow. Wow. Serious. $84 million of Treasury bonds and notes, and allowed $240 million Treasury bills to run off between 1930 and 1940. So between 1930 and 1940, right around the time when Hitler was coming into power and getting the German army together, $84 million of Treasury bonds were sold, and 240 million Treasury bills were allowed to be issued with an understanding that they were going to be able to be pegged to Treasury bonds. Wow. Oh my goodness. September 1st, 1939, Germany invades Poland. Germany invaded and quickly defeated Poland, beginning World War II. What's this say? 1939, September. Bought $470 million of Treasury bonds and notes, but allowed $90 million in bills to mature without replacement. Government outbreak of war, government bond prices declined sharply. See, it would be different if you didn't have the other things that correlated beforehand. Chicken or egg, right? Okay, this is what it says. This timeline here, I'm not kidding you. It says June 41 through January 1942. And it talks about Soviet prisoners of war. And it talks about killing them off. Death toll was neither an accident nor an automatic result of the war, but rather a deliberate policy. Okay. This is what it says. Then it goes and says, to broaden, I just want to make sure I get this right. May 1942, joint statement by federal bank supervisory agencies referred to part of President's message to Congress of April 27th, urging the paying off of debts and suggested that banks arrange for amortization of loans to consumers. Examiners instructed to check compliance. See, I've just watched what amortization on mortgages as part of the pension fund have done just since September 1st of 2019 right here in Texas. And now they've been having these laws roll out year after year until 2024 with ever increasing levels of confidentiality. What the fuck are you keeping confidential? What was that decline of 15 years? Is that a certificate? Are you planning to issue some secret certificate for the police pension fund that you don't want anybody to be able to track during its maturation? Is that going to be something comparable to allowing something to mature without replacement? Or is it the opposite? That you have no intention of actually letting it mature? See, this is what it sounds like. Certificates, 8.4 billion. That is 100 times more. No. Sold $84 million of treasury bonds and notes. 12 years before, $8.4 billion in certificates. See, the thing is, those certificates are pegged to bonds. And then the certificates are what either authorizes or backs the coinage. 1942 to 1945. Oh, I see. So was that cut off right before the war crimes trial? You know, bond holdings decreased $500 million. Why did the bond holdings decrease? Did you allow them to be substituted? That's what you did, isn't it? That's part of that substitution. That's that substitution shit that's mentioned in the bill. That's exactly what you fucking did. The timelines. You're not fucking getting away with that shit again. You're not getting away with that fucking shit again.